Welcome, 8th grade, to Career Cruising Segment 1. Underneath Potential Starts Here, click on the text box and type in your username. Type in password and enter the Career Cruising program. Underneath your name on the left, click on My EDP. In Segment 3, we are going to focus on doing some investigation and on types of post-secondary institutions, training facilities that we would like to receive additional education from after high school. That's what post-secondary means, after high school. And all of you are going to have to participate in something extra after high school, whether it be a 1-year certification, 6-month certification, 2-year associate's degree, 4-year bachelor's degree program. All of you are going to have to participate in some kind of post-secondary after high school education. So what you need to do during segment 3 is you need to find at least 3 post-secondary institutions or organizations, educational facilities that you are interested in investigating and save them to your EDP. That is the goal of segment 3. And I'm going to show you a few ways and how to find these post-secondary organizations, institutions. Okay, so one way you can is click on My Education. Some of you have already saved schools. If you've already saved schools, click on My Saved Schools. Underneath My Saved Schools, if you've already saved some, click on Find Schools Related to My Saved Careers, and it gives you some programs of study for those schools that you've already saved. Okay, if you haven't saved any schools, you're going to click on My Saved Schools, and you're going to click on Explore Schools over here on the right, and you're going to click on School Selector up here at the top. Now, you're going to click on undergraduate schools or career and technical schools, depending on what kind of schools, what kind of education you're looking to achieve. Oftentimes, career and technical schools are between 6 months to 2-year programs. So if you're looking at a shorter experience in education after high school, then this would be for you. If you're looking for a longer term experience, then the undergraduate schools might be for you. So you need to just test it out and see which one best fits you. Okay, to be able to give you a better idea of what that is, you might want to go back to your careers at the top, click on My EDP, My Saved Careers, click on one of the careers from your list that you saved that you're most interested in. I'm going to click on Architect. And over here on the right, as you were looking at this information and saving them to your EDP, you should have looked to see earnings, level of education suitable for you. This is really easy at a glance kind of information. So as you can see, to become an architect, I need a 4-year college or university degree. So I'm going to go back to education. I'm going to click on School Selector, and I'm going to click on undergraduate schools because it said to me if I want to become an architect, I have to be enrolled in a 2 to 4-year college program. So I'm going to click on that. Now it's going to ask me some questions about what kind of institution, what kind of post-secondary education am I looking for, what kind of experience, so what type of school. I'm going to click on Does Not Matter because it doesn't matter to me whether it's public or private. What type of college would you prefer? 2-year or 4-year program? That does not matter. I'm going to click on Location Setting. Where would I like to go? I'm not sure. I'm only in the 8th grade. I'm going to click on Not Sure. And at the bottom, it says what type of environment would you like to live in? Small town, rural, suburban means there are, if you choose a suburban environment, there are many neighborhoods around this particular college or university. If you choose urban, it's a more city kind of environment. I'm going to choose Does Not Matter. It asks you what admission difficulty are you looking for? Some of you are saying, gosh, I don't want to challenge myself over much when I graduate from high school, but I do want somewhat of a challenge. So I'm going to choose moderately difficult. You'll have to read through this information and choose what's best for you. I'm going to click on special program options. It doesn't matter, these programs. I appreciate all these programs, but it doesn't really matter what the school offers, but it might matter to you. So you need to look carefully through this information. And if you have questions about what they're saying, you need to ask questions about that. For instance, if you don't know what advanced placement credit means in terms of special programs, advanced placement program credit means that this particular college accepts, or the ones that they're going to sort out for you will accept advanced placement credit, meaning you can take an advanced placement class at the high school level and you can use it to apply to the particular school or schools that you are looking at. So I'm going to click on that because that's important to me. And then I'm going to click on tuition. Okay. I don't want to go into debt to pay for my post-secondary education or training. So I'm going to click on, I do not want to pay more than $2,000 to $5,000 a year. Click on my state of residence, which is Michigan, and then click on enrollment. And it doesn't matter what size school. If you are looking at a smaller environment to be a part of, then that does matter to you. Then you need to make sure you click whatever is appropriate for you. To me, it does not matter. Would you prefer a student population that is coeducational, mostly men, mostly women? Does not matter. Does not matter to me. I'm going to click on athletics. You can see there's a slew of choices here for you to choose from. I am not going to limit my choices in educational facilities based on the sports that are offered, but some of you will want to, especially if you're looking for scholarships in certain sports, cross country running, cheerleading, bowling, basketball, those kind of sports. I'm not. So I'm going to just click on majors offered. And I'm not going to add any majors. I'm going to click on campus life and services. It doesn't matter what kind of campus, whether it's women only, men only. That doesn't matter to me. Click on that. Which of the following do you want to be available on campus? These kinds of activities, I'm not sure that I care what is offered, so I'm going to say does not matter, and I'm going to click on view results. So these are my choices for this particular program for becoming an architect. Looks like 4-year graduate degree in San Juan, Puerto Rico. All of these places are in Puerto Rico. Surprisingly, I'm wondering how that happened. And I'm going to click on close matches because I'd like to see, okay, I've got 1,010 schools that match 10 of 11 topics selected. So I'm going to click on that so I have more choices. There we go. That gives me many more choices. And it was only missing one of my criteria, as you can see. So I can choose from these. I'm going to look at some of these universities, post-secondary educational facilities, see which ones are most interesting to me, and then I'm going to save at least 3 using this up here on the right-hand side, save to my EDP. Remember, you have to save at least 3. Now, if you want to review your criteria for the school selector, you can go ahead and review it and change it. You can see the tiny little pencils over here on the right that allows you to edit the information, change it. And then over here on the way to the right, the tab that says compare other schools, this is where you're going to see how other schools match up with your criteria. Okay, so that's how you add schools that you are interested in investigating to your EDP. Now, to be able to compare information, this is one of the most important tools of career cruising, and so you need to pay attention to this. To compare schools up here, click on compare schools at the top. You're going to compare undergraduate schools. Well, most of you will. Some of you will compare career and technical schools. Well, maybe a lot of you will compare career and technical schools, but some of you will compare undergraduate schools. So we'll try that one first. We're going to click on Add School here at the top. I'm going to click on My Saved Undergraduate Schools because you saved some. Remember, you should have saved at least 3. So click on that. Choose one that you saved. I'm going to choose Grand Valley, and I'm click on Add. I'm going to click at the top, Add Another School. I'm going to click on My Saved Undergraduate Schools. I'm going to click on Ferris, click on Add. I'm going to click on Add School at the top for the 3rd column. Click on My Saved Undergraduate Schools. I'm going to click on Case Western Reserve. And now I have general school information from each of these post-secondary educational facilities side by side. So I can compare the same information for each of these schools side by side. Okay, what's important about this information? I'm just going to highlight a few things. Total number of undergraduate students, that is going to be you. So if you are looking for a smaller campus, you want to look at total undergraduate students that are enrolled at these facilities. So Ferris State has a moderately large campus. Grand Valley has a larger enrollment population, and Case Western Reserve has a smaller enrolled population. So if you want a smaller school, you may look at Case Western Reserve. Okay, underneath faculty, it's going to tell you this is important. It's coeducational, and it looks like there's a student to faculty ratio at Grand Valley University of 17:1, which means it's an average of 17 students per instructor. So as you look, Ferris State, even smaller, has 16:1, even though it seems to be the enrollment is much smaller than Grand Valley. It still has a high student, comparably, it still has a high student to instructor ratio. And Case Western University, significantly smaller. You have an average of 11 students per instructor at Case Western. Okay, so as you scroll down, it's going to tell you the types of degree programs that are offered. Now, Grand Valley offers a certificate program, and so does Ferris, but Case Western does not. Now, remember, certificate programs are most often 6-month to 2-year programs. Okay, diploma programs, looks like none of them offer diploma programs. Associate degree programs, those are 2-year programs. It looks like Ferris State is the only one that offers a 2-year program. All of them offer bachelor's degrees, which are 2 to 4-year programs. None of them offer first professional degree or certificate programs, and it looks like all of them offer post-bachelor's degree or master's degree programs. Okay, so as you scroll down, here is another important highlight: graduation and retention rates. 6 years or less. That means in the last 6 years, Grand Valley State has retained 84% of the students that enroll at Grand Valley State University in the last 6 years continue to attend until they graduate. So the retention rate for Grand Valley is quite high. That should be important to you because that means those students that enroll at Grand Valley State University as a freshman, incoming freshmen, are happy with their education. They're satisfied and happy with their education enough to stay until they graduate. Okay. Ferris State is a little bit lower. It's still in the 80th percentile. 80% retention rate. 80% of freshmen who enroll at Ferris State stay at Ferris State until they graduate. Case Western Reserve University, very high. 93.9% of students who enroll as freshmen continue on at Case Western Reserve University until they graduate. Okay. Admissions requirements. You can scroll down and see what kinds of admissions criteria are required of you. Gives you SAT information all the way to the bottom. Okay, so if you have questions about any of this information, you just need to ask. And this ends segment 3, career cruising.